Hi guys, I'm in the Q5. Do they call it a Sportback? Sportback?
Sportback, yes.
Sportback. Yeah. Smooth. Okay, that's the dual clutch. So when it comes to smoothness, there is a caveat there because when you are rolling at really slow speeds in the parking lot, let's say you move it to D and then you just let the car to crawl itself, as you know, the crawling feature is a torque converter thing. Alright? But torque converters can do it a fantastic job. However, this is not a torque converter, this is a dual clutch. So that sensation is there, the coupling and decoupling feeling is there, but it doesn't shake your head around. So consider that a job well done. Okay, steering is light. It's an Audi, so the steering is, don't expect feel and all that nonsense because these are not sports cars. These are stylish wife car runabouts. You know, the ladies would love it. I mean, even guys. I mean, most people would prefer these type of cars versus the usual sedans that we used to. Jalan, bro, half your car is out. Go, go, go. Dangerous. All of us have always said that Audi has the best screen situation amongst the others ever since they came out with this back in year 20, was it 14 or 15 or was it 13? I think it should be 14 or 15. This screen that expands the speedo, the dials versus the navigation, because although a lot of cars can do that already now, they have the navigation over here. Back then Audi figured that if you need navigation, say for example now I'm in USJ, I'm heading to Bufori in Keppel, right? I do not know my way. I need the navigation, but if I have a passenger next to me who wants to fiddle with the infotainment, the navigation is here and that one can be something else, alright? And Audi, you can change the view. It's so straightforward, alright? But so far, nobody is as fancy as Mercedes-Benz. As in, when you use a Mercedes-Benz LCD cluster, you kind of felt like the UI is more modern, polished, and just attractive to fiddle with. Now when it comes to attractive, BMW tried it, but they sort of look like some unauthorized Winamp skin, you know, what BMW did, you know. It's just a little bit too much, too gaudy, and then it at the sacrifice of functionality. Whereas Audi is like the boardroom corporate software suite, you know. Nothing is fancy, everything is straightforward. That's it means that's it. So that kind of take away a little bit of that premium feel, because a lot of cars now have digital speedos, and most of the entry level cars will give you a pretty much straightforward UI design, albeit Audi's resolution is high and all that, right? But it just no longer feels like a premium product out of all the LCD screens, because it's just so straightforward. Hope you understand what I mean. It's too straightforward, you know. So Mercedes did a very good balance in that sense. I still think Mercedes has the best now in terms of these things. Alright, BMW out of the premium, they are the worst now because of the sacrificing usability for stupid graphics flying around and all that. So that will be BMW. Volvo is Google now. Very simple dash LCD for Volvo, but the center one, that is a Google powered one, so you don't even need to hook up your phone for the Android Auto, Apple CarPlay navigation. Technically, you just use the Google one. Alright, switch gears, the Audi switch gears are still really good. It's there, but the design of the interior, maybe I'll do a walk around and talk about it, but it beggars belief how fast the industry suddenly changes, that your perception of what is premium, what is not premium, changed entirely. Alright, with the arrival of all the China-made cars giving you all sorts of features at totally different price points, and the EV cars being tax-free and all that, right? it just suddenly create a different perception of what constitutes a premium product. Right? When it comes to UI polishness, I believe Audi's UI in the center screen, which is very similar to Porsche's, to be honest, the icons and then the clean font and all that. Now this one does carry some premiumness. This one, however, looks like it come out from a different design studio. This one and this one doesn't gel when it comes to the font, the slimness of the lines and all that. It just looks like another thing altogether. Okay. There is a huge issue with the center console below the aircon HVAC controls. That was because Audi, halfway through, Audi updated the MMI, have a full touchscreen, and decided to save costs and take out the whole center MMI pad and created a void over there, and then moved the gear shift module and haphazardly created some compartments which none of them serve a proper purpose. Alright, of course I'll do the walk around and I'll point out all that. And other than that, this car I believe have some safety systems, safety suites, some sensors here and there. But from the looks of it, it doesn't look like a super high spec car because of the taxation. This car is one of the very few who suffered at the helms of Malaysia's taxation. BMW and Mercedes-Benz are locally assembled, Volvo as well, so they enjoy a lot of tax benefits. Alright, but for brands like Jaguar, Land Rover, Lexus and Audi still, without the local assembly tax incentives, their prices are just incomparable, incomprehensible and uncompetitive, unfortunately. No choice. Okay, so I would judge this car based on the sole merit of whether it is a competitive product to the likes of X4, GLC Coupe and those, while I'll leave the price aside. That means when I'm doing my review on this car, I have to constantly remind everybody that whether the car is good or bad has nothing to do with whether this car is worth buying or not. It is definitely inside the category of not worth buying. Alright, it is definitely there because it's not locally assembled. Alright, so that's a unfortunate situation. But you also know that if you are in an insurance company, alright, and then your colleagues were rewarded with an X3, right? You just join this company and then you see all of them, very confident people, and you don't know who's the most capable one, and then company buys them cars. Right? This guy gets a BMW X3, the other guy gets a Q5 Sportback. You know that's the top sales because the price difference is quite a bit. Oh no, X4 is also 400,000. Yeah, X4 is also 400,000. But what I mean is you know this car is a 480,000 car, so that guy must be the sales champion. Alright, and then the relatives see them, they know, oh, this guy is richer because they know this car is more expensive. So probably, maybe my job is to help Audi inform people on how expensive these cars are. Anyway, so the drive, is there anything to say? Oh well, it drives like a jacked up A4, right? The steering is light, the same steering wheel as the A4. The same HVAC controls. Audi cars are known to be ergonomically sound, comfortable and all that. Audi rarely commits ergonomic faults in their cars, but I spotted one in the center console because of all the things I mentioned earlier on, right? And other than that, a 2-liter ICE that goes. It has quattro, it's comfortable enough, it's fast enough, you can corner, you can throw the car into a corner, you know, the steering won't give you much feedback, but albeit it'll be accurate. Okay? So yeah, it's a compact size car and yeah, it's cheaper than the Macan, slightly bigger than the Macan. But I don't think it is as spacious as the X3 or the XC60, the likes. All right, and if you walk out from this interior, you straight away go into a Mercedes-Benz new GLC interior. Don't touch it yet, you know, don't touch the material quality and whatnot. Immediately you feel like you jump across space-time, 10 years of space-time. Like you kind of feel that this is how car architectures were 10 years ago, they still are, you know, but the Mercedes-Benz would immediately present itself as a wow, something new, right? So, yeah. The drive, maybe the traffic will speed up later. Okay, some speed breakers, right? Yep, it's alright. It doesn't jolt the car. Yep. You can feel the wheels, you can hear it. You can feel it a little bit on your bum, but that's about it, right? Yeah, and in terms of handling, I'm sure it's okay. It's an Audi at the end of the day, right? The ML what Evo platform, I don't know the name, but it's a good platform. For those who don't know, the Macan is based on the Q5. Okay, the Porsche Macan is based on the Audi Q5. All right, so yeah. I think the car feels quieter than the XC60. Quiet as in the rolling. You cannot count the ICE engine because the XC90 has the hybrid thing. Okay, so later I'll do a walk around, but generally it's a nice enough car to drive, but to buy is another question. Okay. This is the all-new Audi Q5 Sportback, and I shall stop my impersonation of Doug DeMuro now. This is the competitor of the X4 and the GLC Coupe. Is there a Macan Coupe? But the Macan sort of is already slanted, all right? And this is actually a slope, but my cameraman tilted the phone so that it looks flat. All right, now this is the Audi Q5's Sportback cousin, which usually for X4 or GLC Coupe, when they do this, you will have a hard time going in, but not the Q5, because I noticed this yesterday. Now you don't need to get that near, it's okay. I noticed this yesterday. This is largely almost similar to the non-Sportback variant. See that? Right? But I tell you, in the X4 or the GLC Coupe, you hit it way more times, all right? And they also employ a visual trick to make you feel that it looks very slanted, but actually the boot space wasn't much compromised, just like the Volvo C40 or XC40, because the C40, is the slant back version of the XC40. But if you look at the Volvo C40 versus the XC40, the boot space wasn't much compromised. If you come over and have a look at the boot space, it is still absolutely massive, like really, really massive. If you park this next to a Q5, you pop the boot open, you will see that, hey, that's not much, isn't it? Because this is where the tonneau cover is, and all Audi did, instead of a very slanted back, they only sort of compromised this part. You know, this small little angle. It's just about there, and that's about it. So I would say I would rather get this than the Q5, because yeah, it is infinitely more stylish. The visual thing that people sort of see, that why is it that the slanted back SUVs always look better? I think it's because this profile is a lot slimmer than those tall ones. Okay, I do not know the name of this color. Probably my video guy would put it there, but it's a nice looking gray that carries a tinge of green. All right, and if you look at the back profile, like all Audis, because Audis ever since 2008, they all look like the modern day EV cars in terms of design, because Audi has pretty much shaped how every single modern car is designed ever since Walter de Silva penned the A5, A4, and his team did the Q5 and everything. Every single modern car is based on the Audi template, including Mercedes-Benz and BMW. So when you look at this car now, you will be forgiven if you think that this is that an EV? No, this is a standard dual clutch, 2-liter turbo, pretty much the so-called analog cars of prior years, but it's the very modern Audi. Case in point, there's no exhausts, and there are diffuser look-alike stuffs that does nothing. And but I'm all right with this, rather than some cars having that faked blacked out stuff. All right, so the rear seats are, oh, were you able to see my leg room and knee room and all that just now? Sorry, I've got to go in again. From here you'll be able to see, all right, my size 11.5 feet. I don't think you can see my feet from there, right? Come, pass me the camera. Thank you so much. All right. These are my size 11.5 foot, okay, and they don't fit between the space of the rear seat base and the railings. See that? However, my shoes are size 11.5. Not everybody is size 11.5, but I reckon even 9 would struggle. All right, this is even more so. This is just really tight. Okay, the whole structure, including the center tunnel and all that, leaves a rather tight space for the middle passenger. Although there are room, but only if your foot size is like, I don't know, 6, 7, then you find you'll be able to have your feet here, and then the passenger to the right can still slot their feet comfortably inside. Now, the back seats are rather straight up, okay? Because this is my vantage point, okay? I sit almost a feet higher than the front passengers, almost 30 cm. So this is where my eyes are, and this is where my straight vantage point is. Okay, this is pretty incredible considering when you are outside. Let me turn you guys around. See, my hair isn't brushing the roof liner yet. I do not know what magic Audi employed, but the whole slant back, whatever that Audi did, is pretty much perfect because they did not compromise the luggage room. I still have about 3 fingers of headroom, 2.5 to 3 fingers. Going in and out, I don't hit the roof that easily compared to an X4 or the likes. And sitting inside here, I see that I have a lot high. I'm sitting a lot higher than the front passengers, okay? Now, sitting high means that it creates knee room, because I'm almost like sitting on a dinner table kind of sitting, okay? Are the seats comfortable? Very. The seats are very comfortable. Is it super spacious behind here? Not very, okay? Pull this down, familiar mechanism, cup holders, and that's about it. Nothing much, okay? The seat backs are they adjustable? They look like they could, but I'm not sure if they would. Nope. There are no levers, are there? Let me try. Okay, there is. Let's wait for the magic moment. Yes. Okay, now this is good. I get about 2 inches of recline from the seats. But after reclining, my hair is touching the sloping roof. You see that? But if I sit back up, I would have more headroom. But nevertheless, I think this is executed just well within the envelopes of compromising. Okay. Now at the back here, you see the sunscreens that you can pull up and hang it there. You see this inlay and nothing much. Basically, the spec of this car is grey on grey on grey Alcantara. Okay, and the Alcantaras are here. Oh, they look like Alcantara. They're not Alcantara, but it's alright. The touch and feel is Alcantara. The seats are pretty comfortable. You get some nets. I explain nets. The benefit of nets is that it can hold toys that are of these sizes, odd sizes. If it is a nice back, sort of like a leather shelf or cover thing, it will only hold documents. Okay, the aircon vents are mounted high enough so that I get reasonable enough air that can clear the center passenger's knees and blow it up. Alright, I can only adjust the temperature, 12-volt socket, nothing much. Pretty Spartan in here. Of course, Audi materials are always a small grade higher than the likes of its competitor, but I don't see them using their really nice injection mode soft touch over here. This one as well, they now have changed the material. Instead of a single piece soft touch polyurethane or something, now is leather on top of plastic. All right, you can feel it. You can feel that the surface is nice to the touch, but the moment you push it, you can feel the plastic beneath. All right, let's go to the front seats. Door bins are pretty much all right. Small, but they can put a large bottle. All right. The front, before I go into the passenger driver seats, the front is like the Q5 with a large grille, honeycomb. And the one thing that Audi does beautiful is they hate cut lines. In fact, they hated cut lines so much, they moved the entire bonnet opening line to the sides that gels with the body line, which is very difficult to do, but yet they do it. This is a mark of unthinkable precision assembly that the other premium makes would tremble in fear to pursue. And I do not like the speaker covers. They are only a reminder that you did not spec the metal ones. I don't think these plastic molding sort of cover fits the really nice Audi cabin, you know. And moreover, this is Bang & Olufsen, so I just find these 90s looking plastic molding covers a sight that I don't think gels with Audi's brand CI or image, to be honest, these covers. Okay, and the door panels down here are harder plastics. These are the really nice Audi soft touch, and of course the nicest would be here. This is what I mean, the single piece molding, soft touch, very nice material that Audi has always been known for. Okay, now the Q5 has been out in the market for quite a while, this generation. Okay, and of course they updated it with the new infotainment system. Very nice. Okay, touch sensitive, you can press your stuff, very clear. But because they have this, they remove the beloved MMI controls, which were here, and then they move the gear lever to this part. And this is where my biggest complaint about this car is. There's a whole center console that completely outright
doesn't make sense and doesn't fit Audi as well, because I've known Audis for a long time. I've owned 3 Audis. Audis rarely have ergonomic flaws. They rarely commit such mistakes. And this, to me, is a bit haphazard, to be honest. If you look at it, it looks as though there are multiple compartments, but this doesn't fit modern phones, except a tiny iPhone if you're on a budget. This one fits nothing except some coins or the car key. And then this one also fits nothing. It's not a wireless charger. The depth, this is the maximum depth. And in terms of height, you know, you can put half a wallet in here and nothing else. And there's one USB 12-volt socket with an icon that will be unfamiliar with modern youngsters. And then that's about it. A volume knob. The whole thing just doesn't make sense. And then there's here a small compartment, rubberized, you know, a metal strip to remind you you're in a premium car. And all it does is you push back and then it reveals the cup holders. Sorry. And these are ashtrays, again, something that is interesting in this time and age. Okay, and the cup holders are there. Of course, this is a nice compartment. This is still Audi, usual Audi. Can you still pull it out? Audis, we used to be able to pull this. You can't. It can't be pulled. No, it doesn't even hold. Audi always have an armrest that you can pull out slightly, or you can hold it at certain positions to be an armrest, but this one just straight up close it. Okay, frameless mirrors, and then this one, no surprises, and that's about it. Now in terms of segment, this one, in terms of segment, it should go against the likes of X4 and GLC, but because it's been a while, it is considerably smaller than the other 2 competitors in terms of size. It is just outright smaller. And now that I'm in this car, objective speaking, in terms of available space, of usability and usage, this is no different in size to an XC40 that should be one segment lower than the XC60. So the XC60, the X3 or X4 or the GLC Coupe or GLC outsize this car by every single dimension almost in terms of usable space. I'm not talking about on paper specs. All right, those cars are bigger. Those cars ride and feel like a longer wheelbase car than this one, and this one sort of feels like an in-between of X1 and X3 in terms of its size. But of course, material-wise, everything-wise is still pretty much there, Audi. But I just find that they need a new Q5, but it's the EV era, and you should just go ahead and buy the Q8 e-tron, because that car is cheaper than this, much bigger, much more modern, much faster, and you should just go with that one. Oh, have I not tell you the price of fully imported premium cars? Look at the prices of Land Rovers, look at the prices of Lexus, and this one is within that context. Yes, this car is more expensive than the Lexus NX, which was fully imported into Malaysia. Go check out the prices. It can't be compared or compete. It can't compete with the likes of X3, X4s or GLC or whatnot that are locally assembled. All right, so a pity. All right, that's the Q5. Cheers.